We are live. All righty. Think we got this ready to rock and roll. Okay. All right. I hope everybody's having a blessed day. Uh, Sorry that it was taking so long to get everything rolling, but hey, Rumble was taking a little while to get started. Go figure. Usually they're pretty good on it. How you doing there, Jason Love? Everybody, Jason Love is in the house. I hope he's
Hey,
having a
Jason.
blessed day. And today's going to be a small panel, just me, Wavo, and Casey today. Alice and Crazy aren't able to make it. They're having issues in real life, so please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. They've got please pray for Alice's dad who's fighting cancer, and pray for the patience of Job for the both of them because their truck's gasket blew uh, day before. No, it blew yesterday, so they're trying to get that fixed right now. Um, so yeah, that's a whole lot of aggravation. So yeah, keep keep them in your prayers. Keep Alice's dad in your prayers, and let's get ready. Let's get ready for today's topics. And we've got some pretty decent ones. We've got the gay cruise that was denied entry into Turkey and Egypt, and they're trying to blame it all on Trump, completely ignoring the fact these are countries where being gay will get you killed. So sad. Oh man. We've got to say goodbye to Sam Neill, Hal Williams, and Senator Lindsey Graham. We have an update about what's been going on with Sony and PlayStation, as well as a minor possible update about the bricks and minifigs, because that madness is still also going on. And it's crazy. It's some crazy ass shit, guys.
Crazy, crazier than a horse.
Yes. Uh, the possibility of your Steam library becoming inheritable by your family after you pass is quite possible now. We also have Disney has announced that it's possible Disney Star Wars is going to be decanonized since they're launching a whole new way of doing. Lucasfilm is doing a whole new way of doing Star Wars with their whole Star Wars Visions Presents, which is, for those of you who know anything about comic books, Marvel's old What If line of comics, with all the alternative universes having its own little one shots and things of this nature.
Oh, I have some thoughts on that when we get to it, but I'm going to save it for them.
Yep. And then we've got an ex-KKK Grand Dragon getting baptized by a black pastor. We also have Marvel is relocating the publishing offices for the comics to Burbank from New York City. That's this week that we've got for some talking points here, and hopefully we'll be able to have a pretty decent discussion on this stuff. Also, we'll be giving a little health update about how my health is going and why we weren't here yesterday, Wednesday, like we normally do, because Wednesday is usually fireside chat. Because I like doing my fireside chat in the middle of the week on a Wednesday, hoping everybody can make it. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it, and I'll tell you why. Maybe I should start tonight's little bit with that. Basically, as y'all know, I had my first acupuncture appointment yesterday. And for those of you who know me, know that I do have a phobia of needles. Needles scare the bejesus out of me. So I had been in so much pain. I willingly and joyfully went and let this dude stick needles in me, all up and down my back and my butt, and it actually worked. It helped with the sciatic nerve pain so well that when I got home and I got sat down and got started on typing up the stuff to be able to do Fireside Chat, I passed out. Um, yeah, the sciatic nerve pain had gone down to a point to where I was actually able to fall asleep. Ain't that cool?
That is a good thing.
And
Yes.
as someone who has trypanophobia myself, I can relate to that fear of needles.
Well, the funny thing is while he was sticking the needles in me, we were having the discussion about my phobia of needles. And he was like, for somebody who's got a fear of needles, you're doing pretty good. And then he made a comment that I had a very high pain tolerance, or it was the fact that I was in so much pain, I did not feel him sticking the needles in because I did not flinch when he was putting them in. And I said, it's probably both. And he's like, yeah, that's probably both. And it went pretty good. He put 3 needles in my ear and a whole, I don't know how many he put in my back and my hip. And I don't really care. Even whenever he attached electrodes to them that was sending electrical pulses, that didn't bother me. It actually felt kind of good. And I'm like, hey, that feels pretty good. And he's like, well, if you fall asleep, that's all right. That's why you got all the pillows. And I'm like, well, thank you. But instead of sleeping, I read the John Byrne X-Men graphic novel that I told you guys about last time.
Ah,
Yeah, I bought it on Kindle so I can read it. It's
Awesome.
actually pretty good. So yeah. But anyway, it went great, and I go back for my second appointment tomorrow around 3:30 is when I'll be going to go and get more needles stuck in my butt.
yay.
And I'm looking forward to it because the acupuncturist, he said that the effects are cumulative, that they just keep building up to a point to where he's hoping that it will make it won't make the pain go away, he said, but it will hopefully make the pain more bearable, which is good since I will not get to go to the pain clinic until the 5th of August.
The 5th of August.
Yes. That was the soonest that they could get me in that I could actually get to the appointment. And considering the fact that I've been waiting almost 10 years to be able to get to the pain clinic, thanks to my doctor not doing her job right, that's not that long of a wait. I shouldn't be having to make it, but it is bearable, especially with the way the acupuncture's working out, which is very, very cool. And thank you, Jason Love. Thank you so much, man. If you've got back problems and the chiropractor ain't working, go try the acupuncturist, man. This has helped a lot.
Yeah, there's a acupuncturist just north of me who, back when I was working in HVAC, my boss absolutely swore by.
Yeah.
And before he went to see him, he didn't believe in the acupuncture thing. He thought it was a bunch of, as he so eloquently stated it, hoodoo voodoo.
Yes.
And he walked in there. He let somebody talk him into it. He walked in expecting little Chinese guys with bells and all that. No, this guy was a freaking Navy veteran.
Yeah. Now the guy that that's my acupuncturist, he does a lot of work with veterans, and he gave me some contact cards for several veterans groups in the area that have programs that he said should be able to help me out with a lot of the issues I've been having. But he also gave me or sold me this. Hold on, let me put the camera on for a minute. Evil Bone Water. It's topically applied stuff to put on ouchies. And
now, evil bone water. Now, tell me, is that bone extract from the remains of the skull of Calderon?
I don't know. It's possible, but he put it on after he got done removing all the needles from my back, and it works. It helped a lot. And he was talking about the fact that it works great for people with arthritis and muscle issue, sore muscles and everything. So I'm going to be trying that out to help to get the feeling a little bit better, I hope. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Got to respond something right quick. We might have another person that can join in. Just give me a second. If so, we'll know. It's so much easier for me to send out my invites to join the chat through Discord. It's not even funny. Especially considering the fact right now my Twitter X account isn't letting me into the chat section. That's why I had to get. I was lucky enough. I don't even know if it went through, but I considering the fact that Casey's here. If Juaraevo didn't send it, it might have actually made it through when I tried sending it before it all crashed.
Yeah, you never know.
Yep.
Computers, they're supposed to make your life easier. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, it's weird. Technology is wonderful when it works.
That's the operative phrase. When it works.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay, what should we start out first with? Let's go ahead and do our sad goodbyes first.
Okay.
To get that heaviness out of the way. Because it was these guys, two of these actors I loved watching. And we Hal Williams had a very long life. He was 94 or 95, I think, when he passed away. Sam Neill passed away suddenly. They did say that he passed away from complications from pneumonia. And all we know about Lindsey Graham's passing, it had an aorta, something went bad. I'm not exactly sure. And it really sucks, man. But for those who don't know who Hal Williams is, he was an African American actor who was on a lot of sitcoms. Sanford and Son, 227. I can't remember them all, but when you saw him, you recognized him. He also was in the TV show. If I remember right, he was also the sergeant in Private Benjamin. Let me double check because I can't. I could have swore that's who he was. Yes, that was one of the big movies that he did was Private Benjamin, and he passed away on yesterday. Let's see, he was on the Waltons, Private Benjamin, Guess Who, Flight. He was in a lot of stuff, man. Cool Breeze, Herbie Rides Again, The Escape Artist, The Rookie, The Cherokee Kid, Guess Who, Nightclub, and a whole bunch of stuff on TV. I mean, dude made buku TV shows. Oh wow, he was even on TJ Hooker. I forgot about that.
TJ was a hooker?
No, TJ Hooker was the police show that William Shatner did in the 80s.
I was making a joke.
I know, but I actually enjoyed that show. I thought it was pretty good. And one of the biggest reasons why I really liked it was Heather Locklear.
Like I couldn't guess.
Hey, don't go there, man. You were right there beside me, licking the TV screen when she was on.
Hey, I wasn't looking at the TV screen. I was panting at it.
That's dirty old man. We got to stick together. That's for sure.
You know it, brother.
But yeah, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hits hard, man.
Yeah,
Kind of
Sam Neill. Sam Neill is out of all of them the only name I'm actually familiar with.
Yeah.
Sam Neill, of course, Jurassic Park.
Yep. As well as a couple of other things he did. He was in so many really good stuff. I mean, he played Merlin in the mini series that they did, and oh god, he was so good in that. And I just can't get over. I mean, his family was talking about the fact that it was sudden that he was healthy, and then got hit with pneumonia, and that's what took him down. And I just can't believe how it was, man.
Well, what I can't believe is who's going to take care of the dinosaurs now?
Yeah, I know, man. It just
I mean,
breaks my heart, man. Especially if you look at his filmography of all the stuff that he was in, and you're like, oh my god, I did not realize he was in that. I mean, dude played Damien in the Omen: The Final Conflict, and he was in Attack Force C, For Love Alone, The Umbrella Woman, Leap of Faith, Evil Angels, Dead Calm, The Hunt for Red October. A lot of people remember him as the first Sean Connery's first officer who said that he wanted to go visit Montana, which was a callback to Jurassic Park. And for some reason, man, almost every movie that he had something to do with Montana. It was wild. He was in The Memoirs of Invisible Man with Chevy Chase, The Jungle Book, Children of the Revolution, Victory, Snow White, A Tale of Terror, The Horse Whisperer, Bicentennial Man. He was the guy that owned Robin Williams' character, remember?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was the dad. Let's see. The Zookeeper. That was the comedy, if I remember right. I can't remember which one it was. He was in Gallipoli, Irresistible. Under the Mountain, Daybreakers.
Yeah, one of the best bad movies ever made, Daybreakers.
Yep, and what else we got here? Backtrack, The Daughter, 9 Games, The Hunt for Wilder People. There's a lot of these movies I don't recognize, but there's a whole bunch that I do. Didn't realize that he was one of the voices in it. And the cameo he had in Thor Ragnarok, where he was actually playing the actor who was playing Odin, that was pretty good. He was in the Peter Rabbit movie. He starred as Mr. McGregor, and he provided the voice of the character Tommy Brock. I mean, dang, man. He was also in Thor: Love and Thunder, again playing the same actor that played Odin. But we do have.
Wait, did he play Odin, or did he play the actor who played Odin?
He was playing the actor who was portraying Odin. So he was an actor playing at the role of Odin in a play.
Okay. That genuinely confused me.
Yeah. But he did a whole lot of voice roles in here. That's pretty cool. But we do have 2 movies that will be released after his death that he had finished. And that was Godzilla versus Kong Supernova and The Last Resort, which is a Filipino romantic comedy. So he did a whole lot of stuff that was in other than just here, you know. He lived in New Zealand and did all of his stuff all across the planet.
Well, you know what I love? I gotta say, like I say, Daybreakers was a fairly unremarkable movie other than with him and William Dafoe in it, but he did an interview in a New Zealand like a Comic-Con or something.
Yeah.
And one of the people in the audience asked him when he was doing Daybreakers, he says, was it difficult to do an American accent? and he laughed at him. He kind of gives the guy a wink and he goes, "Who said I was doing an American accent? I was actually doing a New Zealand accent, and most Americans never figured it out."
Yeah. Well, he also did a whole lot of movies that was tied to Lovecraft and the Cthulhu mythos.
Yes, he did.
And he was a very versatile actor that even if it was a bad movie, he made it worth watching.
Trust me.
I just can't get over the fact that we lost him, you know? Especially the fact we lost him from complications from pneumonia. And which is it's pretty sad. And I just wish that there was. It's one of the things about getting older and you start seeing all these people you looked up to that you enjoyed passing on. It just makes life suck, you know.
Yes, it does.
Now, let's go ahead and go to our Sony PlayStation update.
Wait a second. What happened to Lindsey Graham? When did he die?
Okay, Lindsey Graham passed away this past week. I was thinking he died from deep vein thrombosis because he's been in a plane. He was in planes flying all over the place.
Gotcha.
But they're saying that he has a hereditary heart issue is what killed him. I really wish that Alice and Crazy could have made it, because this is something that Alice she goes into some conspiracy theory groups that have been talking about this, and the fact that Lindsey Graham was a big time supporter of the war effort in the Ukraine, and that he died after returning from a fact finding mission to the Ukraine. And the fact that he was a big Trump supporter also tied into it. And Jason Love in the chat says the CIA has a way to kill and make it look like a heart attack. Yep, very true.
Yep. Yep, the CIA can get rid of you and make it look like an accident.
Yeah, it's wild. And he also brought up Event Horizon. That was one of Sam Neill's movies that I did not watch all the way through.
Yeah, I've heard of Event Horizon, but I've never actually watched it.
Yeah, it's about it's a science fiction horror movie where an experimental jump drive ends up traveling through hell, and it disappeared after they activated it because it went to hell, and then it somehow made its way back to our reality, and they're going to go to check it out. And
so it's the jump. So it's the flash drive both to and from hell.
Yes. Jason Love says Event Horizon is great, but freaky as fuck, and he's right.
Pretty much sums it up, yeah.
All right, and he also said that Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell now give 2 less votes in the Senate. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why everybody's still wondering, is he alive or is he dead? And the witnesses that saw him being taken out of his home said that they weren't Russian. But you do have Scott Jennings over on CNN who said that Mitch McConnell called him on the phone and said that he was alive. But the pictures we have of him in the hospital, he's like all hooked up to all kinds of life support machines. So yeah, there's that.
well, it might have been a very long distance phone call.
True, but it's also one of those things of, I had a friend of mine, he's about 10 years older than me, was talking about the fact that he was on the phone with his granddaughter begging for money to get out of jail, while he was looking at the same granddaughter standing in front of him going, "What's wrong, Grandpa?"
Oh yeah.
You know,
great scam going on.
Yeah. So that's one of those things of, is Mitch McConnell alive, or is he being kept alive on machines? What the hell? Even the governor of Kentucky sent a message to Mitch McConnell's office and says, "Tell me right now, is he alive or is he dead?" And we still haven't heard anything back. And yes, Jason Love is right. We need actual proof of life from McConnell. Dude, what gets me is, if he dies in fracking office, that's just yet another reason why they need to grab some Roto-Rooter and force through term limits. No politician should be up there for decades and die in office. That's bullshit. that's not how the American system was meant to work.
Yeah.
You're only supposed to go up there for a short period of time, do your service to your country and your community, and then go the hell home.
And that's another thing. Congress seems to have forgotten that they serve us, not the other way around.
Exactly. That's
They serve at our pleasure. They
exactly.
serve at the pleasure of the people. And we have the power to take them out of office whenever the hell we please. If
Exactly.
we feel like they're not doing a good job.
That was one of the reasons why I originally was not keen on the term limits, because I felt if you have term limits, that limits the American people's ability to vote who they want to go represent them. But that only works whenever the American people and the electorate are actually keeping track of what's going on. It's got to a point now. Who is it that we normally vote for? I mean, one of the best Eddie Murphy movies that he ever made was Distinguished Gentleman, where he played a con artist who was able to get elected to Congress on name recognition alone, because his name sounded just like the congressman who had from his state, I think it was Florida, who had suddenly died, and he was able to run for and actually used all of the promotional materials from said dead congressman. If you guys have never seen The Distinguished Gentleman with Eddie Murphy, go watch it. It's funny as all get out, but remember, this is an Eddie Murphy movie from back in his heyday that could get raunchy. But so yeah, there's that. But it's cute, it's funny, and it shows one of the problems with the American electorate, because it actually showed people going in to go vote. Honey, who is it that we normally vote for this? While looking at the papers. And when I saw it, when I first heard about the movie, I was like, "Oh, no way in hell is this believable?" But over the years, I've learned they were fucking right. Oh God! All right, let's hit the Sony PlayStation update.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this one.
All right, go for it. Juaraevo, you got the floor.
All right. So, first off, I want to start by revisiting our PlayStation deep dive on Sunday.
Yes.
By saying, I had mentioned at the time that there were many that the UK, I believe, was suing PlayStation. They were suing Sony over becoming a hostile monopoly. Well, now you can add Mexico to the list of countries that are suing Sony. Recently, it has been revealed that Mexico has filed a $457, I think it was, $1 million lawsuit against Sony, claiming that by and I'm trying to find the right wording. That's why I'm kind of stumbling here a little bit. That by discontinuing physical discs, they are making it so that the PlayStation Store, the online PlayStation Store, is the only place that people can buy their games. Meaning, there is No competition for them whatsoever. Antitrust law violations. That's what I'm looking for. That's the phrasing I'm looking for.
Yeah, the antitrust legislation that prevents the creation of monopolies.
Yes.
And if these people keep doing that, that's what they're going to end up. They're trying to create a monopoly to where the only way you could buy their product is directly from them.
Yeah. And part of their case is that in Mexico there are some parts of the country where people do not have access to the internet, which is something that I can relate to because growing up, I was not allowed access to the internet whatsoever. So any games I played had to be physical, which is why I enjoy my PlayStation 2 so much. My PlayStation 2 is my prized possession. I have a lot of my old original games right here on the shelf next to me.
Yeah. You're not the only one that does that.
Yeah. And not everyone has access to digital media. So by removing the concept of physical media, not only are they removing their competition, they're also alienating a large subset of the market.
Yeah,
which is what the lawsuit is centered around.
Well, it's the majority because, okay, let me put it to you this way. Not everybody, as we learned from the FIFA World Cup stuff, and we had all these people coming from all around the world to the United States freaking out over the fact almost everywhere they went had air conditioning, ice in their drinks, unlimited refills on their drinks. All the stuff we take for fucking granted. They don't have that there in their home countries. Think about it this way. How would you feel going into a restaurant and they bring you a drink that's supposed to be cold and it's still warm and there's no ice in it? And then after you've drunk that drink, they charge you for your next drink. You'd be like, what the hell? Then imagine going somewhere where not only are they bringing you a drink that's supposed to be cold filled with ice, they keep refilling it for free. Okay? They also discovered pretty dang quick Americans were a hell of a lot more friendly than that their mainstream media over there was saying we were. Oh, Americans are rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. And they're violent and dangerous and all this other shit. And they discovered, nope, that's not true. Hell, look at all the Brits that came over here and the Europeans that came over here and how they're freaked out over the fact everybody's got air conditioning. When in Europe and the UK, air conditioning is seen as a major luxury. Now, all this attempt to go and be digital only is only going to work in places where everybody's connected. Thus, the majority of the non-United States are going to be shit out of luck. And even though the United States is a pretty big market, it's not the biggest market. I'm wondering, I'm just going to spitball this. So it's also me having a moment of, wait a minute, could this actually be something being pushed by the CCP there in China to control the media, i.e., what's the words I'm looking for? I'll have to come back to it later when I get to think about it more, because this feels like something that the Chinese People's Communist Party would do.
Now, a lot of people were thoroughly enraged when PlayStation announced the death of the physical disc.
Yes.
But many of those people then began working on a project of their own.
Yep.
Which leads me into
like freaking out how awesome it was.
Which leads me into the second part of this. Perfect segue. In retaliation, the PlayStation 5 has been emulated. Emulation for the PlayStation 5 is now possible. Now, it's very early in development. It's still in the very early stages. But they were able to get one of the games to the splash screen, which is huge progress. And now that PlayStation is doing all this, many people are coming together to help chug this along a whole lot faster.
This might actually push them out of the market.
I hope so. I hate to say this, but I have been kind of conspiracy theorizing for a while that the modern video game industry is about to collapse.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to lead to one of two things. Either this will lead to the beginning of the collapse of the whole industry, or this will lead to Sony's death, which will lead to being a wake-up call for the other major giants in the industry, where Microsoft and Nintendo will look at this and go, "Oh, holy shit, we better get our act together."
Well, remember,
that's my own personal conspiracy theory, though.
Remember what we were talking about before we went live about this. The video game industry is bigger than the movies industry, the TV industry, and the book industry combined. It is massive amounts of money is in the video game industry. And the fact one of the biggest backers of Sony, you said, was BlackRock.
Yep. Actually, BlackRock makes up 6 of their top 10 investors.
Yes. And BlackRock is the company that is on the record talking about forcing people to change the way they live their lives. You will eat the bugs. You will own nothing and you will like it. We will force people to change to fit the way we want them to be. That has been BlackRock from the very start. It's one of the reasons why everything that they've put money into became all about the message instead of telling good stories. And BlackRock, last I heard, was losing a crap ton of money, and a lot of the funds and places that were using BlackRock as their main financial management have been pulling their money out because they've been losing way too damn much money. And the only places that have left their money under their management has been places that agree with the message instead of making money. Problem is, there's also a lot of the retirement accounts that these people have managed that have lost a shit ton of money. And the everyday person who has lost their retirement thanks to this has been getting up in arms about it. But because the majority of them are like unions and shit, as long as the union leaders are getting the padding in their wallet that they want, and they get all the good bennies that they want, they don't give a shit. But soon that money's going to run out. It's like Margaret Thatcher said, the problem with socialism is you will always run out of other people's money. It's that simple. And BlackRock, as much as they like to think that they have an unlimited access to other people's cash, that's started to go away because they've lost so much money by funding so many failures. I mean, when you ignore what the customers want, you're going to fail. Your company is going to go the way of the dodo.
I can sum it up. I can sum it up very easily.
Mm-hmm.
All I have to do is call on the immortal words of Dictor Van Doomcock himself. Without respect, we reject.
Yes.
And Sony is now learning just how true that phrase is.
And I am hoping, you guys know me, I have a whole lot of hope, but I have always said this: prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Still be prepared for everything to go wrong, and you'll be able to survive it. If you're prepared for the worst possible scenario, you'll survive it. But if you aren't prepared for it, you're going to end up hurt. Are you not? It's that simple. So we just gotta look at it that way for right now. Yeah, this is a good part of the update about the emulators coming into being. And we've got Marcelo in the backstage. Hold on, let me put him up here.
Hey!
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I can only stay for a little bit because I normally had to get stuff ready for the old man. I got to make dinner for the redhead, so.
Yeah, you don't want to cheat her off or she'll hurt you.
Well, no, she had a bad day, bro. She had a bad day, you know?
Oh, that's never fun.
Nope. Never a bad day. So, you know, never a bad day. It's just what it is.
All right, we got next up the Chinese government and their judicial system has stated that your Steam library should be inheritable.
Mm-hmm.
So, anybody knows anything about the way the judicial system works, odds are your Steam library is going to be inheritable by your by the people you designate when you go away. After all, you paid for all this stuff that you got on your Steam account.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about it. I think that's pretty dang cool. Because that right there.
Sadly, I don't have anyone to pass my Steam library off to.
Anybody you designate, dude. Anybody you decide to designate it. That's how a will works.
Hey,
If you don't have a
technically
will, it goes away.
speaking, yeah, technically speaking, you got to look at your end user access license, and I think part of the issue is the transferability of the license is being questioned. Okay, because most of the time they would talk about your license not being transferable.
Yeah.
Okay, the thing is this: monetary compensation was passed between hands. That implies an explicit contract, and keeping you from transferring a license upon cessation of life, okay, it gets into a legal gray area. It's like saying, hey, look, I get to continue to use this shit on perpetuity, which is what your license really is, and then saying, well, the person who took over the farm, because I asked, I licensed it from you in perpetuity, can't continue to till the soil. If it's a physical property, civil law tends to take a dim view on what do you mean they can't till the soil. Goes back to pre-colonial days. It actually shit goes back to almost the Magna Carta.
Well, also look at it this way. Excuse me. Since you brought up a farm, look at the licensing they have for the GMO seeds.
Mm-hmm.
This falls under that as well.
Dude, that is the most vile chicken shit that you could fucking think of. Okay? Yeah. I mean, vile. And by the way, the only reason Monsanto's been able to get away with that shit until now is because they got more money.
Yeah.
But that shit's chipping away.
Because I know there's a couple of farmers I knew in Florida that lost a good chunk of their properties thanks to the way that pollination ended up causing some of the seeds to end up in their fields.
Yeah.
And
yep, I think that happened in Indian River County.
That might be the place, yeah.
Yeah, I think in Indian River County.
The same thing happened in Kansas. And what was the other place that it happened? Because it was a small private family farm that refused to sell out to the big corporation that was all surrounding them. Mm-hmm. Everybody else had sold their farms to this big corporation. And this one guy held out, says, no, my family's been on this land for multiple generations and we're not giving it up.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, we usually know how that works.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell it to you this way. Fun fact. Great grandparents fought with a guy by the name of Teddy.
Yeah.
Might have heard of him. Okay. The part of the family that told the Spaniards where to get off, okay, were granted by the new government a plot of land. I'm like, okay, no problem. They're rednecks. Well, the equivalent of Cuban rednecks. We call them guajiros. We call them guajiros. Anyway, right about 1959, they're like, okay, yeah, sure, great. Now we can do whatever we want. We're our land and this and that, and we're not being told what to sell shit for. Guy comes in with a bunch of his guys and says, well, you know what? Now it belongs to the country. And you know what happened to that farm?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There you go.
And it's one of those things that just really upsets the hell out of me. But the whole Steam library being inheritable makes me feel good, because that means my Kindle library will be inheritable by those I designate. And I got a
Now,
very
it's
impressive one.
it's important to note that this is possible in China because they have special legislation in place to allow this. They have a precedent for it.
Yes. And this happening in China sets a precedent in international law, which, ironically enough, there are large amounts of American judges that use foreign judgments of this type as a precedent whenever they're making their rulings here in the United States. Yeah, this will probably end up going to the Supreme Court if it does happen here. But I have a feeling if it does make it to the Supreme Court, we would have it upheld. I mean, this is products you have paid for. Even if it is digital, it's still a product you paid your hard-earned money for. And as people have said in the past, even a broken clock's right twice a day, you know?
I mean, I get it, but there is the other underlying question of, just because you pass it along to your grandkids, that doesn't mean they'll be able to use it, because by the time they do, the company might have pulled it off their website.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part.
Well, I'm looking at the Kindles thing. That if you buy a product, it should still be there.
Well, that's not altogether true either, because Kindle has been known to pull books without people's knowledge or consent, even if they have them in the reader.
Exactly. And that's where I'm coming from, because I had a whole bunch of Kindle books just disappeared overnight. And when I contacted them, I'm like, why didn't these books disappear from my Kindle library? Oh, we no longer carry them anymore. So I bought them. These are my books. Why did you take them out of my library? Just because you're not selling them does not give you the right to remove it from my library. I paid for them. They told me to take it to court. Problem is, I'm poor white trash. I don't have a lawyer to do that.
Well, and the thing is, they know that even if you did, for a lot of people, it's not worth the money for them to go in for such a small ticket item.
True. And that's the problem. You've got a big corporation that thinks, oh, I can screw the little guy because they're not going to be able to fight me.
Well, regrettably enough, that often happens.
Yes, and I don't like that. That goes against why we have the law in the first place. The law is supposed to protect us. It's supposed to protect us equally across the board. It's why I don't like two-tier justice systems. It's one of the reasons why I'm looking at what's been going on in the UK and going, holy shit, this is really fucked up. I'm worried about my son all the time because of it. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I watched that video of that white kid getting the shit kicked out of him by that group, and then when the cops showed up, they took off, and the kid was blindly swinging, trying to protect himself, and accidentally knocked the hat off of that female cop. And then all the female cops just descended on this dude and arrested him while letting the people that had assaulted him just keep on going. And the witnesses was like going, wait, you're arresting the wrong person. It was them. And then these female cops saying, if you don't shut up and go away, we're going to arrest you too. it wasn't just the Novak kid that got stabbed, and he's sitting there bleeding to death, saying he stabbed me, he attacked me. Oh, that's not true, mate. You're the one that did it, but I can't breathe. Yeah, right, mate. And let him die. All because he was the white guy. I don't like two-tier systems. To have a true, just government, the government has to enforce the law levelly across the board. It shouldn't be looking at what color your skin is, what you got between your legs, what you wish you had between your legs, or what you want somebody else to have between the legs to get jiggy with them. None of that shit should matter.
Exactly.
You're a human fucking being.
And that's one thing that pisses me off about the pride flag. And I hate using this analogy, but it's a conversation I had with Rainbow Sparkle a few months ago. Pokemon, specifically Eevee and its evolutions.
Yeah.
Each different one has a very specific set of colors. And everyone on the internet compares those colors to various different flags from different sexualities. Why are we doing this? Why can't we just enjoy something for the sake of enjoying it as it is? Why do we have to pervert and sexualize everything? I miss the days when I could look at a rainbow and not think, oh God, where did that queerness come from?
Exactly.
I will not walk into a building with a pride flag on it. Because every time I have ever walked into a building with a pride flag on it, 100% of the time, I have been treated like dog shit because I'm a white man.
Yeah. That happens my way too. But I also get it because I'm a cripple and a veteran wearing my Navy ball cap. I wonder how much their heads would explode if I walked in there with a MAGA hat on.
Oh, they'd probably shoot you in the back of the head.
That's actually happened in real life.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was saying that.
And
it's sad. It's sad that disgusting that this is what the world has come to. This is why my faith in humanity is in the negatives. I am ready to just blow the whole planet sky high.
That's
Fun fact, did you know that it takes over 100 quintillion pounds of force to crack the earth in half? Don't ask me how I know that.
Well, that's actually a pretty good segue to hit the next story. Gay cruise gets denied entry into Turkey and Egypt.
Aww.
The name of the cruise ship is the Scarlet Lady. These gay dudes are taking part of this cruise, have been posting on social media how upset they are that they were being barred entry first to Turkey and then to Egypt. Then they started blaming it all on Donald Trump as the reason why the gay cruise was being barred entry into countries where being gay is not only against the law, it's a death sentence. Let that sink in, guys. They're bitching that they're not being allowed to enter a country where being gay, not just openly gay, just being gay, period, is going to get you a death sentence. It's wild.
They ought to be thanking those people for keeping them out of those countries then.
I know. But Trump has nothing to do with it. It's these countries themselves are like, wait a minute. a cruise ship filled with gay men is trying to get into our country, where being openly gay means we take you up to the tallest building we can find and see if you can be Superman.
No. And let me guess, if you can fly, you're safe.
Yes, exactly. It's like the old test about witchcraft, you know. If she floats, she's a witch. If she drowns, she's not.
Gotcha.
And the law is, if found to be a witch, they have the right to burn you at the stake. Go from one horrible way of dying to the other.
God.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh
No,
God.
I
thank you.
said what I said. I said what I said. Something a son should never hear from their father.
Oh boy.
People on the stream, trust me, you never want to hear that, especially from a 90-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Why do you think I had to go on mute, Huevo? He's like, I don't know why that was here. I thought we picked up after her.
You know what you should have said? You should have said, right, Dad. It's actually yours.
I was
trying to pretend.
The whole time that you were talking, that's exactly what I was doing. What do you say? What do you say to that?
You should have
What do
told
you
him.
say to that?
There is nothing you can say to that.
No. I told you what to tell him. Right.
I
Dad.
had just finished.
That wasn't one of hers. That was one of yours.
I had just finished talking about end user licensing and inheriting licenses, and this is the phone call I get from him.
My God. You know what? I am so glad at this point I am prepared enough to have trouble reading, because I'd probably be shocked.
Forget jumping the shark. We jumped the moon at this point.
No. Okay, hold on. Let me explain to the people watching, okay? Marcelo's dad called him and told him he found one of Marcelo's mom's marital
artifacts. He found an artifact that no son should ever find from their parent.
Yeah.
Okay.
You happy now?
Like I told you, what you should have said is, right, Dad.
I tried. I tried for 15 minutes.
It was actually, no, what you should have said is, yeah, right, Dad. That was one of yours.
That wasn't going to go over well. Nothing good could
come
from
that. The hell up, and you wouldn't
nothing could have come from that. Nothing could have come from literally nothing could have come from that. I'm just glad that Alice and everyone else isn't here.
No, they would have really got. They really would.
Oh, they would have. I would have never lived this down. I would have never lived this down. And I'm like, why did he choose to tell me?
He had to share the pain. That's what it is.
As if I'm supposed to do something about this.
It reminds me of, well, the thing that most guys do is like, hey, if I gotta smell it, you all gotta smell it moments.
And the funny part is that I thought that we had gone through Mom's stuff. Where was this? Where was this?
You know, when you get old, dude, sometimes you misplace things. You don't know.
Yeah.
I am so close to breaking out the tangent bell right now.
Do it. Thank you.
Back
Thank
to
you. Thank you. And I'm sorry that I did this to everybody.
Yeah, that was
laugh, man.
Yeah,
that was for Richard. That one was for Richard, this one is for you, Marcelo.
All I can say is people, don't let this happen to you.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be douchebags.
I'm like, hey man, just don't let it happen. That's all I'm gonna say. Just don't let it happen. Don't let it happen.
But nah, the name of the cruise ship also is one of those that really had me going, really? The name of the cruise ship is the Scarlet Lady, and it's carrying a ship full of gay dudes, and they're actually one of the people that was on that did one of the live social media posts was commenting that even the crew were all gay.
Oh God.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've used the name the Scarlet Lady in the past for a pirate ship in one of the stories I was writing.
Yeah, I'm with Jason. I'm with Jason Love on this one. Keep firing, assholes.
Yes.
They should. I feel like this whole thing has gotten so out of hand. They should have just shot the cruise ship down.
I mean, a gay cruise, what a waste of good semen.
I know, right?
But what's got me about it is the people trying to blame Donald Trump for the fact that Muslim countries don't like gay people.
How can they blame him for that? I mean, I'm not a big supporter, but how can they blame him for that? That's
When
like
you allow,
blaming.
okay, let's put it to you this way. When you allow your irrational hatred for a person to overwhelm your rational mind and your basic common human decency, you're able to blame them for anything after that point.
Well, what I meant was, aside from that, what reasonable rationale? Because, I mean, that's like blaming the weatherman because it rains. He had
Exactly.
nothing to do with it.
True. But like I said, when you've allowed an irrational hatred to overwhelm everything else, nothing you do is going to be rational at that point.
Well, they blame they blame Trump because the truth and the facts physically hurt them. Facts and truth are lethal to leftists. It physically causes them pain.
Yeah. And
they are deathly, lethally allergic to the truth.
Yep. And as Jason Love in the chat says, Trump derangement syndrome is real and a type of delusional thinking. Very true. And then he also says, if they die, they die. Yeah. Khal Drogo's immortal words. Oh, but yeah, I'm just laughing at it because watching them talk, watching their social media post about this and them turning around and blaming Trump for something that they have been repeatedly told Muslims don't like gay people. They kill gay people. And they wouldn't listen. And then this happens, and then they try to blame it all on Trump. And all I can do is laugh about it because there's no other thing I can do. It's just one of the things that made me laugh my ass off. It just really does. Now, our next upcoming story is really heartwarming to me. For those of you who are not part of my Discord, let me see, where did I put it? Nope, that's not it. Not it. I have a board that I had set up to inspire people and stories about real life heroes. And one of those stories was about a man, this black guy, that was able to he literally has closets full of KKK robes of Klansmen that he would have conversations with that ended up causing these people to stop being racist monsters. And I'm trying to find it so I can tell you this man's name, because I have such a hard time remembering names. It really frustrates the heck out of me, which I know it frustrates other people too, because I cannot remember simple things like names at times. Heck, even while I was meeting with Alice and Crazy when they came down to visit me, I still was calling them Alice and Crazy Horse because I can't remember their real names. How pathetic is that?
I know their real names and I can't remember them either. Don't feel bad.
It's not. I do, and I'll tell you off air.
Oh, let me see. Where is it? Dang it. No, not there, not there. Life lessons, maybe. I might have put it under there. Here we go. Daryl Davis is this man's name, who literally befriended and convinced over 200 Ku Klux Klan members and neo-Nazis to give up their hate. And to me, that's a hero. And
that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you fight bigotry.
yes,
with love, not with hate. Hate
exactly.
only begets more hate.
Yes. Now, since you're the one who brought this story to my attention, Juaraevo, you can tell people about it.
Yep. So, an ex-KKK Grand Dragon, one of the big top head honchos of the Ku Klux Klan, has been baptized, given a Christian baptism by a black pastor.
Amen.
Let that sink in. That is how much of an impact this man has had. That a ex-Grand Dragon for one of the most bigoted, racist, hated groups in American history is now a Christian and has been baptized by one of the very people he once persecuted.
Yep.
I have one question.
What's that?
What news channel did you hear that story on?
I got it on Facebook and then did my research online.
Which tells us that the mainstream media isn't going to give you the truth, people.
Of course.
Or at the very best, their version of any truth they decide to give you.
Yeah. And that's the thing that gets me, is the fact that these people in the media, it's like what the Europeans found out when they came over here, that their media lied about us, because whenever they would show all the negative, bad stuff, it kept people tuning in.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Hang on, let me see something real quick here.
Well, let's face it, guys. I'm sorry, but basically, good news is boring.
Let me
For a lot of people, it is, but
Give me-
I like the good news.
Well, yeah, but you know what I'm saying, Richard? They want things that'll grab people's attention and hold it. And by and large, that means they tend to dwell on the negative things because they can sensationalize it.
Right. Right. They can't afford to give good news because people won't buy ads for it.
Yeah.
Now the man who was baptized, his name is Ken Parker, and he's a former KKK Grand Dragon and neo-Nazi.
Mhm.
And the pastor who baptized him was named William McKinnon III. And this happened in Florida. This is, bear in mind, this is in a black church. Let me,
Yep.
I have the picture down below real quick. This is them, ladies and gentlemen. A former KKK Grand Dragon and neo-Nazi. Baptized by a black pastor attending a black church. This is what progress looks like.
Because God is good. Can I get
All
an
the
amen?
time.
Amen.
bro.
Can I get an amen? Thank you.
I cannot put into words how much hope this gives me. Because I set this channel up to spread love, people to be able to talk about the stuff that they love, to try to bridge gaps between diametrically opposed mindsets. Because the things that we love can bring people together. And get rid of the hate that's dividing us.
Mm-hmm.
And it frustrates the heck out of me. Hey, 11 Bravo, how you doing? I think one of the reasons why the chat's very low today is the fact that we're doing the Fireside chat on Thursday instead of Wednesday like normal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry about that, but my acupuncture appointment went really good, and when I got home, I was actually able to fall asleep because the sciatic pain was almost gone enough that I could actually get in a position to fall asleep and stay asleep.
Oh, Richard, by the way, remember, at some point, not today, but at some point, you still owe us a happy dance.
Hey, once I'm to a point to where I can physically do it, I will definitely be doing a happy dance for everybody. Because I still have pain in my right foot and lower leg from all the problems I've had. But fortunately, it's not as bad as it was, to where the side of my foot hurts so bad that even wearing a sock hurt because the pressure of the sock on my foot hurt. And Gap After Dark, how you doing, brother? And the pain in my foot is nowhere near as bad as it was before the acupuncture. And the acupuncture's working. That's the awesome part about it. And he said that the effects are cumulative, and as time progresses, my pain levels will be reduced enough. But he also said that the effects at the start's only going to last for anywhere from 24 to 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm keeping track of how long I'm having the pain relief. So far, the pain is it's starting to get back up in there, but I've still got a cushion of, oh shit, it's not to the point to where I'm crying and begging somebody to put a bullet in my head to put me out of my misery. Thankfully. And so yeah, there is that. But it's something else. I mean, this evil Bonewater stuff that he put on after the needle.
Call it what it is. Liquefied remains of the skull of Calderon.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you got that right.
No, wait, Richard, I gotta tell you. In the interest of truth in advertising, the Skull of Calderon puts his name unofficially on it, but then he subcontracts to me to find enough skulls to put in all the water.
yeah. What's got me is the fact that whenever he was putting the needles in, and we're sitting there talking about it, the fact that needles have been a phobia of mine ever since I went into the Navy and had to go through all those stupid tests.
Needles, he says.
And
I bear those scars.
And
Thank God I'm left-handed.
The acupuncturist, as he was putting the needles in, said that I either had an extremely high pain tolerance level, or the pain I was in was so hot, so massive, I wasn't feeling him inserting the needles, because I didn't flinch while he was putting the needles in my back, my hip, and the 3 that he put in my ear. And then he said, odds are it's probably both. And I said, you don't think? Because, yeah, I've got a pretty good pain tolerance. It's just the fact, and whenever you're hurting so damn bad, you're willing to try anything to make it go away. All right. 11 Bravo says, I've gotten into a couple of theological arguments on Twitter this week. My background is Roman Catholic. One of the things I said got equal amounts of likes and hate. We'll expand and follow messages. Old Testament God behaved like the parent of toddlers. Very true. He was willing to lay down an ass whooping every damn time it was necessary. New Testament gods behave like the parent of teenagers.
Yep.
Maybe.
If you look at the Torah, it's a parent of teenagers who recalcitrant. The only word I can think of is recalcitrant. You know what I mean? It's like the kid that says, "Oh yeah, I'll show you. Oh yeah, I'll show you. Oh yeah, I'll show you," and kept doing it. You know how when the 5-year-old, why? Well, add another decade or so to it, they'll start saying, "Well, yeah, I'll show you." It's the same pattern.
And eventually, and now we've gotten to the "what's in it for me" phase.
Yeah.
And then 11 Bravo says, current day God behaves like the parents of adult offspring.
We're like,
adult offspring. No.
Well,
no. No. Humans behave like a bunch of psychopathic kids.
And Steph says hello to everybody, and we all say hello to see. It's good to see you. How you doing?
Yeah. No, right now the way that Gap, the way I'm looking at it, it's basically, really? You think so, huh? Okay. Let me know how that goes for you.
Yep.
Effectively, that's what it's come down to. Let me know how that goes for you. Because at some point, as a parent, and this, Richard, at some point you say to yourself, if they really are hell-bent on meeting the Reaper's quota, who am I to get in the way?
Yep. And 11 Bravo says the point I'm making is how much direct interaction God takes in the daily affairs of our lives. True. And that point, you're right.
Yeah.
But you also still have God performing miracles. But you also have people trying to debunk said miracles. Bigly. I mean, there's people that can't have a hard time with the fact that I died 5 times and kept getting sent back. And then whenever I tell them, look, the doctor said I'd never walk again. And here I am walking. Yeah, I hurt like hell, but I'm walking. And they think I'm making it up until they see the reams worth of doctor and medical reports saying this motherfucker shouldn't be able to walk. In my opinion, God's miracles come in the form of putting the right people and resources in our lives when we need them the most. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, most of what God does for us is so perfectly done that we don't even know it.
Yep.
There are I can personally testify that there are some rare times when God does still directly intervene in the lives of his children.
Yeah. Well,
I myself am the recipient of one such blessing.
I keep telling people,
Amen.
a
Same
bad
here.
day is a double blessing because your bad day shows you how to appreciate your good days.
Yep. Yeah. I'll back up what Juaraevo said, because it is only by that I was able to also come out of that land from where my parents came. I'm not going to give you details, but there you go.
Your dad's wanting you to go fix the
No, it very, very, very simple. It's some at one point, certain people, some people wanted to talk to me.
Yeah.
That didn't deserve to talk to me, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. Well, if you got
Sorry
to go, we
for-
understand,
Sorry
brother.
for being obtuse.
It's all good. All right. 11 Bravo says God is the one who gives medical scientists, doctors, nurses, and first responders the aptitude, the intelligence, and the drive to do the life-saving work they do. Exactly. God puts it in our hearts to care about others more and to act on it. Like anything that we have that choice. Do we act on this gift and use it for the benefit of others, or do we decide we're just going to be selfish bastards and just keep it all to ourselves? And growing up, both of my parents got and became paramedics and emergency medical technicians. It's probably one of the reasons why I hated driving so much, is the fact that I saw what crappy drivers, how things ended up for them. I mean, imagine being 13 and 14 years old and your parents waking you up literally at 1 or 2 in the morning saying, wake up, you got to watch your sisters. We've got to go on an ambulance run because some idiot didn't know how to drive on these kiss your ass goodbye curves in freezing rain. Or some idiot was drinking and driving and fucked everything up.
Yeah, I guess that would give you kind of an aversion to it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it did. And so, yeah, I was good at driving. it wasn't my favorite thing. It was stressful as hell whenever I drove. But I'd still miss being able to go places and do shit. That was the only reason why I drove, because I was able to go places and do shit and not have to rely on somebody else to take me to do stuff. And now that I'm no longer allowed to drive, it's a good thing the camera ain't on. You guys see my face and just how my face is, and you'd be like going, ooh, that's not good. And you'd be right. I am very perturbed when I think about the things I can't do no more because I can't drive. And I think the only other person on panel who understands exactly where I'm at is Casey.
Yes, I do, but as I grow older, the list of things that I can't do gets longer and longer, and if I dwell on it, it doesn't do me any good because there's nothing I can do to fix it. So I just try to concentrate on the things I can't or can, because I've never been able to drive, so I've never had the experience. But I can do a lot of other things, so that's what I try to concentrate on.
Yep.
And I will just, if I can go back for just a minute, I will not only say amen to Marcelo's testimony, but I can also tell you, and I dare not go into this one, but if it weren't for the intervention of God a very long time ago, I don't think I would be here right now. I don't think I would know where here actually is. So God works miracles all the time. He just does it in such a way that we don't even know they're being done. And that's why we should always be grateful for them.
Exactly. That's the only way we can look at it. I mean, God doesn't promise us tomorrow. Hell, he doesn't promise us this upcoming next minute.
Yeah, I mean, all it says in the Bible is that we get the minute we've got now. Nothing more, nothing less.
Wow. We just got a piece of news coming out of Los Angeles.
What's going on?
Sunset Boulevard is closed indefinitely in West Hollywood after a massive 100-year-old water main ruptured early Thursday morning, creating a large sinkhole directly under the traffic light at Sunset Boulevard and Holloway Drive.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, the picture that I'm looking at from there.
Bring up the picture with the buses. Bring up the pictures with the buses. That should set them on fire.
Yeah, this is wild, man.
But no, let's not fill in those reservoirs. Let's not have those things ready to go, because we don't care about over drying the soil. Sure. It is Juaraevo, that's up by you. What do we fear the most in North Central Florida? Starts with an S, ends with a hole.
Sinkhole.
Thank you.
Actually, we in the time I've lived here, we've had two open up really close to me. Yeah,
there you go.
Walmart, one in the parking lot of the Walmart right across the street from me, and then another one opened up about a mile or so up the road where they're building a Target.
Yep. And that's one of the reasons, why I didn't move up there when I had kids. That's one of the reasons why I stayed down here and put up with the craziness in South Florida.
No, tell the truth. It was all the hot, crazy chicks, man, that kept you down there.
No.
We can't talk about that because the redhead might overhear.
No. That was one and done, man. That was one and done. One and done.
Marcelo, if I ever get down your way, since you're not using them, could you introduce me to a few?
Yeah.
Sure, why not, man? Why not? It's crazy.
I got a few wild oats to sow before I go.
Well, our
Dude.
next story
Dude.
is going to be fun.
There's some
Okay, this is coming out of Lucasfilm, and this is one of those things of the headline I had saw was Disney Star Wars. Is Disney Star Wars being decanonized? And I was like, my ears perked up, and I'm like, ooh, this sounds good.
You have to remember, they've been saying that for well over a decade now.
And BOTE Chris says, by wild oats, Casey means ginger wolf. I think everybody feels that way, buddy. Everybody feels that way, Bubba.
Well, I mean, she would be good for getting rid of some of them, I admit.
Yes.
That's not all she'd get rid of.
But like I was saying, after reading this article, it was all about the fact that Lucasfilm is launching a whole new branch of the Star Wars universe called Star Wars Visions Presents, which is a whole bunch of what-if stories, alternative Star Wars realities. Which in many ways is establishing the possibility that they might end up just making all of Disney Star Wars its own separate reality from the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and the Clone Wars TV show, and the books that was associated with pre-Disney buying Lucasfilm Star Wars. Because when they first got rid of the expanded universe, there was enough of a fan backlash to it, that they said, we're going to now classify the old expanded universe Star Wars Legends as its own separate reality. And this is just basically now going to have Lucasfilm themselves putting out their own alternative reality stuff, their own the original Star Wars Visions that they did in the comics back in the day before Disney bought the place was part of what George Lucas termed Star Wars Infinities.
And they messed that up too.
Yeah.
Because if you look on Disney Plus, Star Wars Visions, even what they just recently released.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, you've completely devolved any value that could have been found. I couldn't watch the second season, if you call it that, of Disney Visions. I couldn't watch it. It was utter trash, even though it was Japanese animation. Even though it was Japanese animation, it was utter garbage. Garbage. And the latest release is like a little better because it had a story behind it. But even so, they couldn't resist. They couldn't hold themselves back, Richard, from going, well, we're going to try a different attempt at reifying the hero's arc.
What again?
Come on.
Haven't they learned anything?
Idiots that can't understand the heroic journey that has existed since the beginning of time and storytelling.
Well, you see, the thing is that paradigm has existed literally for thousands of years. It was ingrained in multiple societies, Eastern, Western, for thousands of years.
It's the classic hero's journey.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, Huevo. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter whether it was Eastern philosophy, Western dynamics. The hero's journey has been so fundamental towards, if you really want to get ahead, you got to get your shit together, that it's persisted for thousands of years. However, what's happened has literally been people who let their envy, let their prejudice get the better of them, have taken hold of these fundamentals. And what ends up happening is that when you let fundamentals get subverted, no one benefits. Hard times make strong people. Strong people bring forth simpler, softer, easier times. Easier times bring forth weaker people. Weaker people bring harder times.
Yep.
History has demonstrated this over and over again. This is the fundamental stuff that are taught to certain people. Okay?
The thing here, all right.
Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
What pisses me off about the way these wokies do it, like with what they did with Ray. Ray always had these abilities. She just had to discover she could do it. She didn't have to learn how to use it. It just was automatically there.
Yep.
She first goes on to the Millennium Falcon and yet knew how to do everything on the Millennium Falcon, knew that there was the fact that certain parts of it was kit bashed by Han Solo and Chewbacca.
But bear in mind, this was after it had already been established prior in the movie that she had never flown a ship in her life and didn't know how.
She had never been off planet.
Yep.
Yeah, but then she gets over there, sees exactly what's broken on the ship she's never been on, fixes it, and does it better than either Han or Chewie could have done it.
Exactly.
I'll go you further.
You just had to be in that position to show it.
Go ahead, Marcella.
I was going to say, I'll go you further. In A New Hope, we have references to Luke driving, riding, piloting different sorts of vehicles in challenging situations. Okay? Oh, that's no harder than hitting a womp rat at, whatever the rest of the quote is.
Yeah.
Okay? We have no context to say that Rey ever experienced anything of that caliber, anything of that, any of that sort of challenge. I mean, Luke was dealing with the oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank. The same, not the Jawas. Who were the other people?
The Tusken Raiders.
Tusken Raiders. We have no context for Rey ever dealing with Tusken Raiders, much less Jawas, much less anything else that posed an actual life-threatening challenge. No context. And
Yeah.
yet we're expected to believe that all these things were somehow genetically imbued because they had come through whatever had been passed from her parents that came from Sheev Palpatine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people, they'll be back
Okay.
in greater numbers.
Exactly. We were expected to not have a in movies there is a plot device called suspension of disbelief.
This people who ambushed the foreign colonists while wearing robes and head coverings. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What we were asked to do in the sequel trilogy was not a suspension of disbelief, Richard. It was a subversion of logic.
Yeah. They basically retold the same. They tried to tell the same story in their way, i.e., a wokeified version of A New Hope.
But there were so many holes in it. It was like Swiss cheese.
Yes.
I've had this conversation with a couple of other people, and every time they always point me to, well, they did the same thing in the prequel trilogy too.
No.
The prequel trilogy wasn't a direct rewrite.
No,
it was not a direct copy paste. The sequels absolutely were.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Basically, all they did was take all the names from the original trilogy of places and things, and just paste in other names, and there you go.
Yeah. Well, okay. The Phantom Menace, when they introduced Anakin, he didn't have any force powers other than the innate stuff that helped him be an amazing pilot. And that was it. He didn't have the ability to sense anything. He didn't have the ability to move shit.
Right.
He actually had to learn how to do things.
Right.
Even when he had his natural gift for working with machinery, he still had to learn how things worked. And
right.
He had to earn it.
He had some intuition, but he didn't recognize how to apply that intuition, Richard.
Exactly. That was the whole hero's journey. He had no
context.
He had the gifts. He had to learn how to harness them and use them.
Exactly.
He had with Luke Skywalker. But
exactly.
Rey, she didn't need anybody to teach her anything. Even when, heaven forbid, when she finally met Luke Skywalker, Luke Skywalker didn't teach her shit.
Okay. All right. I'm going to ask this simple question. Compare to A New Hope to The Force Awakens.
Uh-huh.
Who was Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Force Awakens? Answer me that.
Han Solo.
Wrong.
I don't even really think they had one per se.
Correct.
As far as the role,
they had no one. They had no one. Even when people think of like saying, well, it didn't really come until the second movie when she or late in this first movie when she met Maz Kanata. I'm like, no, wrong. Try again.
Maz Kanata didn't teach her anything either.
Correct. Thank you.
All Maz Kanata was a visually challenged alien they threw in to try to make it look like there was somebody teaching her something. But she didn't give her anything except, I think, she gave her a lightsaber, didn't she?
Yeah, she gave her Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber that got lost in the Cloud City.
Dude, She gave her directions.
That too.
That's it. She gave her directions.
But Wavo's right. The role of Obi-Wan Kenobi, of kind of being a mentor and then dying. Yeah,
See,
that's
not even the mentor part. The only Obi-Wan role, and the reason I say he filled the Obi-Wan role in that movie was because of his death.
yeah.
That's the only parallel.
Yes.
11 Bravo
that
says,
I will agree with.
11
That I
Bravo
will
says,
agree with.
11 Bravo
Yeah.
says, I tuned out of the sequel trilogy after the first one. I'm not even a big Star Wars fan, and I could have written a better trilogy than that slot. Yeah.
Dude,
the one thing I liked about the first movie,
done better.
Okay, the one thing I did like about The Force Awakens was the whole dynamic between Poe and Finn. I was like,
but that was
which they totally dropped. They totally screwed that up.
Yeah.
And you know what would have been better, honestly? What would have been better is if they'd have taken Finn and turned him into Luke Skywalker. Because if you remember, that was what they made it look like at the beginning of the movie when they showed you him leaving the stormtrooper, and taking the stuff off. I'm thinking, okay, that's our Luke. That I could get behind. But then they bring in somebody who doesn't do anything, whose biggest claim to fame is she goes out and scavenges junk for some kind of stuff you got to add water to so you can eat it.
Go take it to shirt, Nadine.
Yep.
But
I mean, that is the biggest waste of celluloid in cinematic history, as far as I'm concerned. They throw away a couple of perfectly good characters that they don't do anything with, and then they highlight somebody who should be pushed off in the background.
Yeah, that's
personally, I would rather watch Snow White than watch any of the sequel movies ever again.
Yeah.
And Snow White is my #1 most hated movie. What does that tell you?
No.
Very true. Well, our last story for the evening is Marvel Comics is relocating from New York City to Burbank. They're going to be leaving the offices they have been in since the Great Depression, I think, and going to move to Burbank to be there where all the other Disney publishing stuff is located. Which means New York City is losing, I think, all of the big comic book publishers now.
It's just like when all the auto companies moved out of Detroit.
Yeah, because I know
that's a different conversation.
Comic book industry people that I've known were always trying to convince me to move to New York City so I could get into the comic book industry back when I still was able to draw. And because I worked when I was able to draw, I could draw a lot really quick and be very detailed with my artwork. I just had a harder time doing the sequential art. As much as I wanted to be able to do it, I had a hard time doing it. But I had all these comic book professionals that I was good friends with saying that practice makes perfect, and if you come up here, we can get you jobs doing pickup art in the comic book industry, and we'll help teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
But I did not want to move to New York City, and this was back in the late 90s and early aughts when 90% of professional comic books stuff was all done where? New York
City.
Because I knew I couldn't afford it. I wasn't rich. And I wasn't wanting to share a 1-bedroom apartment with about 12 other dudes. That's just not my thing. If it'd been 12 hot chicks, I'd say, yeah, I'll do it. But not 12 other dudes. Just not my cup of tea. But then again, I was making fun of a gay cruise getting told they couldn't pull into a Muslim country.
Yeah, good point.
But yeah, this is the ending of a big era, man. That it's going. That New York City is no longer going to have Marvel Comics. I mean, they lost DC Comics. 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Jason Love in the chat says, next time stick with Pace Picante Salsa.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Hey, Tony's in the audience. How you doing, brother? Oh, you be good, 11 Bravo. We're getting ready. We'll be wrapping up in about 10 minutes. So you have a very blessed evening. And remember, even a bad day is a double blessing because that bad day shows you how to appreciate your good days. Never forget it. Hardest lesson I ever learned. And I'm still learning it every day. But not when I remember when DC Comics shut their doors in New York City and relocated. And there was this mural that was in the DC offices that went all the way back to the 60s, that all their big name artists would add to the mural. You had Jack Kirby, George Perez, John Byrne, John Romita, Senior and Junior. I mean, all of the big names as comic book artists who had worked for DC Comics made this big mural. And when the place was getting sold, everybody, all of us comic book geeks were freaking the hell out, man.
Yep.
And the people who bought the office swore up and down that they was not going to mess with that wall because it was a piece of history and art that just could not be just gotten rid of. And last I knew, it's still standing. So there is that. But the great bullpen, the Marvel bullpen, is going to be dismantled, and who knows if they're going to reassemble one there in Burbank.
Yeah, they will, but this
I
time
don't
they'll call it the bullshit pen.
Basically, yeah. I don't think so.
Remind me to stay away from that place because I'm allergic to bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it this way: even though Stan Lee moved to California, you got to consider the environment in which him and Steve Ditko and John Romita did what they did back in the 60s. The political climate, the sociological climate was very different than what we have today. You don't have that same climate in Burbank, California that they had back then. I'm just gonna quote. I'm gonna go back 400 years, Richard. I'm gonna quote Shakespeare. Nothing good can come from this.
Yeah.
And leave it at that.
See, one of the things I always wanted that Marvel bullpen experience, because back in the day, they had all their artists and their writers. They would actually go to work at the office and do their thing in the office.
Yeah.
And that was how they were able to do stuff.
And the thing is that they were experiencing some of this stuff, Richard. They were experiencing some of this stuff.
Yeah.
The thing is that the writers that are going to be there now today are going to be told, this is what you should believe you're experiencing.
Yeah.
Even if they're not personally experiencing it, they're going to be told what they should be experiencing. And this is what they're going to push on everybody else.
And welcome to Janet from Another Planet, to which Jason Love says, Janet, damn it. How you doing, Miss Janet?
Good. I've been real busy today, but I'm doing okay.
Okay.
Well,
I'm glad you were able to join us for the last little bit. Today we had some pretty good discussions. Right now we're discussing the fact that Marvel Publishing is relocating from New York City to Burbank, and how they're going to have to close up the offices there in New York City that had been there since the Great Depression.
is it because of the economy? I mean, it seems like it'd be just as bad in California.
I know. That's the thing.
That's weird.
Because for those of us who's been watching this for a while, have been expecting this move. Okay, because Disney likes having their people close by. Even though when they first bought the Marvel Entertainment Group, it was primarily Disney wanted it for the movies and the TV shows and the animation and so on. They weren't that interested in the comics, so they let the comic stuff stay in New York City. But I guess that they've lost so much money that it's no longer profitable for the comics to stay off on their own in their own little area. And it will not surprise me that the next step of this is where they basically fire a huge amount of the people at Marvel Comics and make them just caretakers while they license out the Marvel Comics IP to other companies. Like what we saw happen with, Star Wars comics. They've licensed those out again. You've had companies that Paramount licensed out Star Trek to IDW, and it's wild. Oh, okay, Miss Janet.
I'm sorry, you guys. It's really interesting, but he's showed up a little early and he's using his phone. He's trying to figure out how to do his iPad, so I'm gonna have to go help him.
No, it's good. No, it's good. Well, we'll be wrapping up here in a few minutes anyway. So
okay, well, you guys
you're
have
good. You're good.
night. Thank you so much. Hopefully, I'll do it next time. Okay, bye.
But yeah, this won't surprise me if we hear within the next few years of another drawdown where they get rid of more of the staff at Marvel Comics.
Well, you know what, Richard? I think that may already be happening, because I bet you that a lot of people there aren't going to be able to relocate, and that's part of what they're planning on anyway.
Yeah, that is possible, because I've seen that happen in the gaming industry. Not video games, but it did happen in some video game people that I knew. They couldn't relocate whenever they moved the studios around. But in the role-playing game industry, I watched what happened to Last Unicorn Games, the people who were making the Star Wars role-playing game. They had just gotten the first publishing of the Dune role-playing game, and there were a couple of other ones that they had had bought the licenses for to put out games for, because Last Unicorn Games was an award-winning gaming studio that was really good at making role-playing games. All the stuff that they were putting out had really good high quality to it. And the fact that they sold out to Wizards of the Coast in the early aughts. And as soon as the sale went through, the first thing they lost was the Dune role-playing game that they had just released. Then as they were in the process of being told, because at first they were told that they could stay in Virginia because that's where they were based out of.
Mm-hmm.
And they would not have to relocate to the West Coast up there to Seattle, where Wizards of the Coast was based out of. It wasn't even a month and a half after the purchase and stuff went through that they all got told that they were going to have to move to Seattle after all the paperwork had been finalized.
Yep.
They got told, you're going to have to relocate here to Seattle. And something like 80% of them could not relocate. Their families were too well established in Virginia. They had kids in schools, things of this nature. They could not relocate. And thus they lost their jobs. But they then turned around and created Decipher, the company Decipher. And Paramount pulled the Last Unicorn Games licenses and gave it to the newly created Decipher company. And they had to take and change the icon system that they had created for the Star Trek role-playing game and do enough tweaks to it that Wizards of the Coast couldn't sue them for the fact that they were no longer the Last Unicorn Games icon system, and they created the Coda system. And that system, that the game lasted for a while, but even it did not last as long as it could have, because those that did end up making the move were some of the people that were key instrumental in the game, keeping the game, the juices flowing for the writing staff and the art staff to get everything done in the editorial positions. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does actually.
And I'm looking at this and thinking, odds are the people that can't move are going to be let go. Unfortunately, the people that really need to be let go actually see this as a good thing. They're like, oh, we're going to the Mecca of Burbank in California, where we will definitely be surrounded by people of our same mindset who are totally dedicated to the message more than we are. So odds are they're going to make that move pretty dang quick.
Yep.
Oh God.
Yep.
I mean, there's this one that works there at Marvel that's so entrenched. He actually wishes his kid who voted for Trump would die a slow and painful death.
Okay, yeah. Father of the Year.
Oh yeah. And I'm like, whoo, buddy. Talk about an irrational hatred, overwhelming rational mind, and basic common human decency. It's sad, man, when you let hate destroy yourself, because the hate destroys you. It don't destroy the person you hate. That's the thing.
As I said earlier, hate only begets more hate.
Yep. And like I said, that's why I made this channel. is try to combat that. I have hope that there's more people who think like this, who've been woken up by the blatant fucked up nature that Trump derangement syndrome has created. People are now seeing it more clearly. And it's like I said, prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. That's how I look at it. And Jason Love says, it's like trying to poison your enemies by drinking said poison. Very right. The hatred destroys you, not the subject of your hate. And it just really is really frustrating, especially with how the message is literally a bunch of hypocrites shaking their fingers at other people saying, you're not living the way I think you should live. You've got to accept everybody except the people we tell you not to accept in your life and celebrate them.
Oh, and you better be careful to keep on top of it, because the people we tell you to celebrate one day, we could tell you to hate the next.
Exactly. And it's one of those things that just really makes me. I hate hypocrites. I do. To me, a hypocrite is the worst thing on earth to be. It's one of the reasons why I'm always questioning myself and my stances on everything, looking to see if I'm being a hypocrite. And it's also one of the reasons why when it comes to tracking down news stories, I have to look into it to see who the sources are. Do those sources track back to the same location, or are there multiple independent sources I can look at and confirm a news story? That's one of the reasons why there's been times on here that a news story pops up that I want to cover, but I can't confirm it because I can't track the cross-referenced news stories to make sure that there's multiple independent sources to confirm it. And I remember back in the day when that's how news editors operated. Can you confirm this story? If you can't confirm this story, we're not going to run with it. But nowadays, if it fits the message, they run with it. To hell if it's true or not. Now then when it comes out that it was bogus bullshit lies, they bury the fix on page 30 in itty bitty small print. That's the same size and font that they put in contracts saying, if we decide to change this, we can. If we decide to change this agreement, we can. At the very bottom of it, you know? And it frustrates me. But that wasn't what we're talking about.
I'm very tempted to pull out the tangent bell. But
Yeah.
before I do that, I want to mention something.
Go for it.
I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Yeah.
The Odyssey is sitting at 96% fresh.
Whatever that is,
Okay,
somebody
hold
got
on.
paid off.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Is that critics or audience score?
It doesn't say.
I have a feeling that's the critic score.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but has that movie even been released yet?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think it came out until like tomorrow or something.
Yep.
Yet here on Rotten Tomatoes, it says now playing.
Well, it might be a preview, so they might count that just a way to get people interested when they see a 96% score. And if it is a preview,
That what's
Mhm.
popping up is the critic score,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what tomato meter is. The critics pop math, the popcorn meter is the audience score. So it's the critics are loving it, while the
Of course,
audience
the
hasn't
critics.
started making any reports.
Of course, the critics are gonna love it because the critics are 100% paid out by Hollywood. They're a bunch
Yeah.
of shills.
and isn't that the movie where the person that was a woman turns into a guy, and then or
Yeah.
the
Ellen Page, who's now going by Elliot Page, who
well,
still
I
5
mean,
foot nothing, is
that-
taking over the role that Brad Pitt made famous of Achilles.
I'm
And
sorry.
never mind that. I think isn't Helen of Troy gonna be black in this one?
Yeah, and she's not a sexy black woman.
Yeah. Well, Helen of Troy. The whole thing that started the Trojan War was because Helen of Troy is supposed to be hands down the sexiest, most beautiful woman in human history, bar none. They should have pulled out all the stops instead of DEI casting, diversity hiring. They should have hired someone with some actual good looks. I would have even accepted Gal Gadot.
Yeah. The person, I can't remember her name, but there's an African model. If they were going to go with a black person
Iman.
Troy, there's this black model that I know of. She's like super hot. I'd have been all for it. It's like, if this had been done 10 years ago and they put Halle Berry up there, I'd have been first in line going, please, please, please have her wearing the see-through toga.
I mean, yeah, Halle Berry was hot back in the day.
Yeah.
And if you want to go a little further back, you mentioned black models. I'm thinking about Iman, if you know who she was.
Oh man, she was so gorgeous.
She could have pulled it off really easily.
She looked like she was sculpted from black obsidian.
You know who I'm talking about, Richard. You know.
Oh, yes. Damn, she was hot.
I would have even accepted America Ferrera.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody here knows who that is.
She was in what was the name of that show that she was in?
I think she was in Ugly Betty.
Yes. And to me,
I've seen her, but I don't know if she's exactly Helen of Troy.
But like I said,
she's more Helen of Troy than whoever the hell they ended up casting.
I understand that, but that it sounds like just about. Let's put it this way: I could probably be more Helen of Troy than whoever the fuck they.
Yeah, I think according to Jason Love, I believe it was Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, she would have been pretty good in that role. Tony Stark says YouTube is that abusive spouse that changes the goalpost and slaps you for fucking up. Very true.
No, Helen of Troy was Lupita Nyong'o.
Yes, but Jason Love is saying that Sydney Sweeney should have got the role.
Yeah.
I could actually see that over this woman.
They cast Anne Hathaway as Penelope. Anne Hathaway should have been fucking Helen of Troy, and Lupita Nyong'o should have been Penelope.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway looks better than whoever the hell this is.
Like I said, this is one of those things of
And of course, it has Tom Holland in it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna slam on Tom Holland. He's a good actor.
Yeah. He is.
I just hope he doesn't start sticking to walls.
Well, the funny thing is, I will give this to Tim Holland. He so believed and loved Spider-Man. He actually went out and got training so he could do his own stunts as Spider-Man. Hey, Ian Hembley's in the house. And like I said, I got to give him that, even though he has really bad taste in women. I'm just grateful they didn't make Zendaya Helena Troy with the way she's been popping up and stuff.
I was thinking of that, or Lizzo would be my least favorite choices.
And
one of the comments I'm seeing here on the Rotten Tomatoes page is an epic lived out stage play of the ancient world, made with modern words and modern people, made on ancient stone.
Yeah,
Modern words and modern people. Yeah, modern people. You mean a bunch of gay people. The modern audience, so-called, that they've been chasing, that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is this movie's going to be another large bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And we will know this. We will know this by next Wednesday.
And I do love a good train wreck. Y'all know I'll be following this.
Yep. Well, it is time to go ahead and wrap it up.
This is looking to be the biggest train wreck since Snow White.
Yeah.
And y'all know how I followed that one.
Yep.
Well,
Jason says he would rather watch one of the modernizations of Shakespeare.
Yeah. I would rather watch I would rather watch fucking Steel Magnolias.
Well, remember Josh Wheaton actually did that. He did a Shakespeare, I think it was Taming of the Shrew or something like that. Set in modern times, had Greg Clark and a whole bunch of the people that are known for doing Marvel movies, doing roles in Shakespeare, and it didn't work because they didn't change. The only thing they changed was the setting, to where you had people wearing modern clothes, modern gadgets, and things of this nature.
But they were still doing the original text.
Yes.
Oh God.
And I tried watching it, but the modern setting with the original wording just did not work. I had to turn it off and say, nope, I'm done. Click.
You know what was another bad one for that was Romeo and Juliet. They did a few years ago, and they did the same thing.
Yes. That never works. If you're gonna do it right. It's got to be a period piece. Now, if you're gonna modernize it, modernize the vernacular as well. Exactly. And that's actually been proven to work, because you had Romeo and Juliet. Anybody else remember that from the 80s?
Yes, I do.
They made an animated version of Romeo and Juliet with Romeo and Juliet, and it was basically the same story, just with robots, and it was really good.
Why did I picture C-3PO and R2-D2 in the roles?
Yeah. Okay. Ian Hambley says, if you want an Odyssey fix, go listen to Epic, the musical. That was a passion project one guy started during COVID. He recently wrapped up production, and it was so successful. I will have to go look that up. He had the final watch party from Ithaca, Greece. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I'll definitely have to go look that up. But yeah, everybody, as you guys know, I set this place up as a way for people of diverse opinions to sit around and have a discussion. I wanted to show you can disagree with somebody and still be friends, that you could still love somebody that was different than you. I set this place up so we could talk about the stuff that we love, the things that bring us together, that doesn't divide us. Let's go out there and be the positive change we want to see in this world. Because that's the only way this world's going to get better, is for each and every one of us to go out there and do something good and positive that will inspire other people to do the right thing. Like those old commercials where you saw somebody do something good and help somebody out, and then they would turn around and help somebody good that would inspire somebody else to do something good, and so on. And then as the commercials progressed, you saw that going around, and then the last commercial of the rotation showed the person who did the first good deed getting inspired to do that first good deed. And let's see, perhaps we can raise money fundraiser for Alice and Crazy. And then Tony asked, Alice and Crazy need money. It's possible they might need it because they're having truck issues. The gasket on their truck blew out. Plus, Alice's dad was diagnosed with cancer and is starting to go through therapy, cancer treatment, radiation treatments. He's not doing chemo, if I remember right.
No.
We don't know yet because they weren't able to come on today because they're trying to deal with their truck. But yeah, once we find out everything, we'll be able to put it out there and try to see if we can set up a streamathon to raise money, because my baby sister's also in the same boat. She still is needing money for a new HVAC. She's using my my swamp cooler right now to try to keep the house downstairs cool at a level she can survive. So yeah. Yep.
Anyway,
Totally get it, Tony.
yeah,
all good.
I work for a ordinary plain ass restaurant. So
Yeah,
my dad worked at a factory a couple of years ago, and I hope to God I never have to work at a factory.
yeah, factory work is different, man.
I
But
can't
anyway,
I can't handle it. I can't handle being around people.
yeah. Well, everybody, thank you guys for coming. If you guys can tell people where they can find you, let's start off with Juaraevo. Why is it not making you big? That's why I hit the wrong button.
I'm already big enough.
Yeah, we all are.
All right, y'all know where to find me by now. Go to that glorious tube of you and type in Juaraevo. My name is right there. I do primarily retro video game reviews. I've been trying to experiment. I've been doing a side series of playing a couple of games with some friends of mine. But I have a lot of different projects in the works, including one very specific subscriber from way back in the day will be proud to finally see.
Sweet. Marcelo, you're up. Uh-oh. Is Marcelo there?
I don't know if Marcelo.
No, he's not there.
All right, hold on. We'll go to Casey then. Casey, tell everybody where they can find you, brother.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Richard Juaraevo, and to all you nice folks in the chat. If you have a mind to and you like a good scary story, you might want to check out Casey's Creepy Creations. Give me a like, a subscribe, a share. If you are already a member, and I thank you. If you are, you might want to go over and look and see if there's anything you miss. Maybe give it a like, a share, a watch. These things are really important to creators, and you guys gotta remember, I know that I haven't been really good about doing other projects, but it's only because I've been having some monetary and health issues, and I want you to know that what I do for you guys. I don't even care if I ever get monetized. My only goal is to provide you the best possible content, past and future, that I can. And I love you all for it.
That's what makes it so much better is whenever you're just focused on putting out something good.
I would rather take my time and do something right than throw something together that's really bad and expect people to watch it, because I value your time too much.
Yep. Well, since Son of Mars can't hawk his own stuff, this is the place where you can find his new YouTube channel, Demonetized Anonymous, for people to talk about the things that got them demonetized on YouTube, and to be able to stand up to
give this man some love.
What was that?
Give this man some love. Give Son of Mars some love. He's a great guy. He really deserves it.
Yep. Well, thank everybody for coming. Remember, you are not alone. You're never alone. And you are most definitely loved. Even if it is by a broken down old fool like me. Because I love each and every one of you. Y'all be good. Take care. Stay safe and be blessed. And remember, any day you wake up's a blessing. Even bad days. In fact, a bad day is a double blessing. Because your bad day shows you how to appreciate your good days when they come. Because sadly, in today's world, too many people take their good days for granted and just expected good things to be handed to them. Be good. I love each and every one of you.